Ever wondered if alien bases are secretly lurking on the moon? Picture this. Back in 1998, Ingo Swann, a psychic mastermind recruited by the CIA, dropped a bombshell. He claimed he'd peeked into the moon's hidden corners using remote viewing. A mind-bending technique straight out of the CIA's playbook. What did he uncover? Not just rocks and craters, but signs of extraterrestrial life, alien structures humming with activity. And here's the chilling twist. These beings? They're not rolling out the welcome mat. Far from friendly. They might be up to something sinister on the far side of the moon. Today, we're diving headfirst into this jaw-dropping true story of Ingo Swann, the CIA's Stargate Project, and the moon mysteries that could rewrite everything you thought you knew about our cosmic neighbor. Stick around, because what you're about to hear might just flip your reality upside down. Could alien bases really exist up there? Let's find out. If you're hooked on UFO sightings, extraterrestrial secrets, or the wild world of remote viewing, this is your front row ticket to one of the strangest tales ever told. From the man who saw what NASA couldn't, to whispers of alien activity the government won't touch, trust me, you won't want to blink. So, grab your tinfoil hat, hit that play button, and let's unravel the mystery together. Are these just psychic visions? Or proof we're not alone? The answers are coming, right now. Let's talk about a man who wasn't just your average Joe. Ingo Swann was a legend in the shadows. A psychic powerhouse handpicked by the CIA for something straight out of a sci-fi thriller. This guy wasn't reading palms at a fair. He was part of the ultra-secret Stargate Project. A wild CIA program cooked up to tap into extrasensory perception, ESP, for espionage. Imagine that. A government agency betting on mind powers to spy on the enemy. And here's the kicker, years later. In 2006, the CIA declassified a stack of documents that screamed, "Yep, Ingo Swann was one of us." Those papers lit up the internet, proving he wasn't spinning tall tales. But what really blew everyone's minds? The moment they tasked him with a mission so out there. It sounds like pure fiction. Remote viewing the dark side of the moon. For those new to the term, remote viewing is like astral travel for your brain, using your consciousness to see places miles, or even light years, away without leaving your chair. Swann wasn't just good at it, he was a master. So, when the CIA pointed him at the moon's mysterious far side, the part we never see from Earth, they weren't expecting a boring geology report. And boy, did he deliver. What did Ingo Swann see through his psychic lens? Not just barren rocks or dusty craters like you'd imagine, but something way crazier. Signs of extraterrestrial life. We're talking alien bases, strange structures, and hints of activity that shouldn't exist on a lifeless rock floating in space. This wasn't a fuzzy dream, it was a vision so vivid. It's been fueling UFO debates ever since. Now, if that's not enough to hook you, stick with me, because we're about to take a wild ride through Ingo Swann's world. This isn't just about some guy with a quirky talent, it's a deep dive into CIA secrets, moon mysteries, and the kind of cosmic questions that keep you up at night. From his early days tinkering with psychic experiments to the jaw-dropping revelations he uncovered under the CIA's watch. We're peeling back the layers of one of the strangest chapters in history. Was Swann a visionary who glimpsed alien life on the moon? Or was he caught in a web of Cold War mind games? Either way, his story is a treasure trove of intrigue, and it's all coming your way right now. Think about it. The CIA didn't mess around with phonies. They poured millions into the Stargate Project because they believed remote viewing could unlock secrets, terrestrial and beyond. Swann wasn't some random recruit, he was their star player. A guy who'd already proven he could see things others couldn't. So when they aimed him at the moon, they knew he'd come back with something big. And what he found wasn't just a footnote in a report. It was a bombshell that's still echoing through UFO circles and conspiracy forums today. Alien bases on the moon? Extraterrestrial footprints where no humans ever stepped? That's the kind of stuff that makes you question everything NASA's ever told us. So, buckle up, mystery lovers. We're about to trace Swann's path, from his first mind-bending experiments that caught the CIA's eye, to the moment he unveiled the biggest secret of his career. Whether you're a die-hard believer in aliens or just here for a good story, this journey's got it all: psychic powers, government cover-ups, and a moon that might be hiding more than we ever dreamed. Let's dig in. What did Ingo Swann really see up there? And why does it still matter? The answers are waiting, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this cosmic adventure. Let's get one thing straight. Ingo Swann wasn't some con artist peddling fake fortunes. This guy was the real deal, a psychic prodigy who'd been turning heads since he was a kid. Long before he became a CIA legend, Swann was already showing off abilities that sounded like something out of a comic book. Picture a little boy sensing things no one else could, feelings, vibes, maybe even glimpses of the unseen. That wasn't just a quirky phase, it was the spark of something extraordinary. Fast forward to the 1970s, and Swann's talents landed him in the labs of the Stanford Research Institute, yep. The SRI, a hotbed of cutting-edge science. There, he wasn't just messing around, he was blowing minds with experiments that defied logic. Take this gem. One day, they locked a box tight, hid something inside, and asked Swann to see it with his mind. His answer? It's dark in there, the bulb's burned out. The scientists laughed it off, until they cracked open the box and saw he was spot on. A burned-out bulb. That's the kind of jaw-dropping moment that made everyone sit up and say, "Who is this guy?" But hold on to your hats. Because Swann's story was about to blast off, literally. In 1973, the SRI crew decided to push the boundaries of remote viewing. That wild technique where you project your consciousness to far-off places. They didn't send him across town, they aimed him at Jupiter, the gas giant millions of miles away. Now, Swann wasn't thrilled at first. Why peek at a planet no one could double-check? But he gave it a shot. And what he saw was unreal. He described swirling storms spinning like cosmic tornadoes, vibrant clouds splashed with color, and, get this, a faint ring hugging Jupiter's waist. A ring. Back then, no telescope on Earth had spotted it, and NASA hadn't even dreamed of it. Swann's vision was a total curveball until 1979, when Voyager 1 swooped by Jupiter and snapped pics of that very ring. Boom, Swann nailed it. A psychic prediction confirmed by a spacecraft. That's not just luck, that's next-level stuff. Suddenly, the world realized, this man could see what science couldn't. So, here's where it gets juicy. Mystery fans. If Ingo Swann could peek into Jupiter's secrets, stuff NASA didn't know until years later, what else could he uncover? His remote viewing skills weren't just a parlor trick. They were a superpower the CIA couldn't ignore. And they didn't. They had bigger plans for him. Plans that would take him beyond our planet's backyard and straight to the moon. What could a guy like Swann, with a track record of cosmic bullseyes, find on our lunar neighbor? Alien bases? Hidden structures? Something NASA's keeping under wraps? You're not gonna want to miss this, stick around. Because the moon mission's up next. And it's wilder than anything Jupiter threw at us. Imagine this. It's 1975. And Ingo Swann's sound asleep when his phone jolts him awake at 3 a.m. No. It's not a wrong number, it's a voice dripping with secrecy. A guy calling himself Axelrod. This isn't your typical, "Hey, can you come in early?" call. Axelrod's got a mission, and it's urgent. He tells Swann to hightail it to Washington, D.C., no questions asked. Next thing Swann knows, he's whisked away on a hush-hush helicopter ride. The kind of cloak and dagger stuff you'd see in a spy flick. Where's he headed? A hidden base, where the CIA's got something wild up their sleeve. The task? Remote viewing the moon. That's right, Swann's about to use his psychic superpowers to peek at our lunar neighbor. Armed with nothing but a list of coordinates and his razor-sharp mind. Buckle up, mystery lovers. This is where things get downright eerie. So, Swann settles in, closes his eyes, and projects his consciousness to the moon's far side, the dark, shadowy half we never glimpse from Earth. At first, it's business as usual, towering cliffs, jagged craters, drifts of powdery white sand, classic lunar vibes. But then, the scene shifts, and normal flies out the window. Swann starts picking up traces of something bizarre. Marks on the surface that scream machinery. Think tire tracks or grooves like a tractor's been plowing through. Machinery? On the moon? That's not in the NASA handbook. Then, he spots a greenish glow flickering inside a crater. Light where there shouldn't be any. As he zooms in, the picture gets wilder. Massive structures pop into view, hangar-like buildings. Towering spires, even bridges stretching across the lunar landscape. Bridges. This isn't just rocks anymore. This is starting to look like an alien construction site. Swann's not done yet, he pushes closer. Drawn to these glowing domes like a moth to a flame. And that's when it hits him. There's movement inside. He sees humanoid figures, tall, shadowy beings bustling around, hard at work on something. These aren't astronauts in bulky suits, they're too fluid, too strange. For a moment, he's mesmerized, watching this otherworldly crew in action. But then, the vibe shifts, 2 of them stop. Then 3, then a dozen. Slowly, they turn, their heads tilting toward him. Swann freezes, heart pounding, and blurts out, "They see me." It's like they've locked eyes across the cosmos. Panic sets in, and Axelrod's voice cuts through the tension. Sharp and urgent. "Pull back, now." Swann snaps his consciousness back to Earth. Breathless, leaving behind a scene that's straight out of a sci-fi nightmare. Okay, let's hit pause and unpack this. Because, wow, what just happened? Was Swann staring down proof of alien bases on the moon? Did he stumble onto extraterrestrial life hiding in plain sight, or at least plain sight for a psychic? Or was his mind playing tricks, conjuring up illusions in the lunar void? This is the kind of moon mystery that keeps UFO hunters and conspiracy buffs buzzing. Could these structures, these beings, be the real deal? Evidence of an alien presence NASA's never fessed up to? Or is it all a wild psychic misfire? Don't go anywhere, because we're diving deeper into this cosmic riddle next, and trust me, the answers might just blow your mind. Think Ingo Swann's wild ride ended with his moon mission? Not even close. Mystery fans. 6 months after staring down shadowy figures on the lunar surface, Swann's life took another bizarre turn, this time right in the middle of a grocery store. Picture him, minding his own business, picking out cereal or whatever, when bam, he locks eyes with a woman so stunning. She stops him dead in his tracks. We're talking next-level beauty, short shorts, towering heels, the works. But this wasn't just a, "wow, she's gorgeous" moment. Swann swears he felt a jolt, like an electric current zapping through his body, tingling from head to toe. His gut screamed one thing: this wasn't human. Could she be an extraterrestrial, blending in among the canned goods? Before he can even process it, 2 familiar faces pop up, the same steely-eyed agents from his moon gig. The ones he dubbed the twins. They don't waste time, they pull him aside and hiss, "Stay away from her, she's trouble." Trouble? That's putting it lightly. Was she an alien spy? A cosmic honey trap? Swann's mind was reeling, and ours should be too. But wait, the weirdness meter's about to crank up to 11. Sometime later, Axelrod, the shadowy puppet master from the CIA, reaches out again. This time, he's got a new adventure lined up. And it's not a cozy chat over coffee. He drags Swann off to the icy wilds of Alaska, to a remote lake shrouded in mist and midnight chill. They hunker down, silent as ghosts, waiting for something. Then, it happens. Out of the fog, a triangular UFO rises, 90 feet wide, humming with a low, eerie pulse. Swann's jaw drops as he watches this thing defy gravity, its sleek edges cutting through the haze. Suddenly, beams of light shoot out, zapping the ground, splintering trees like matchsticks. But the real kicker? The lake water starts flowing upward, a reverse waterfall spiraling into the craft like it's slurping a giant cosmic smoothie. Swann's no rookie, he's seen some stuff. And his takeaway? This wasn't just a joyride, this was a resource grab. An extraterrestrial heist pulling Earth's water right out from under us. Swann pieces it together like a detective on a galactic case. He's convinced. They're mining the moon, and now they're after our water. It's a theory that ties his lunar visions to this Alaskan showdown, a grand alien operation spanning worlds. The moon's got the bases, Earth's got the goods, and these beings are playing a long game. But here's the rub: Axelrod, ever the cryptic suit, doesn't nod or shake his head. He just smiles that knowing smile, leaving Swann and us hanging. Was this a confirmation tucked in silence? Or a polite dodge? Either way, it's the kind of cliffhanger that keeps UFO hunters and conspiracy buffs buzzing. Did Swann stumble onto an interstellar supply chain? Is Earth just a pit stop for thirsty extraterrestrials? Let's chew on that for a sec. This is too juicy to let slide. So, what's the deal here, folks? a supermarket stunner who might be an alien in disguise, and a UFO caught red-handed sucking up our lakes? Swann's life was a magnet for the unexplainable, and these moments scream moon mysteries and extraterrestrial secrets louder than ever. Could this woman be linked to the lunar beings he saw? Was that UFO part of the same crew, raiding Earth to fuel their bases? The questions pile up like UFO sightings on a clear night. And we're just getting started. Hang tight. We're about to dig into what it all means. And trust me, you won't want to miss where this cosmic rabbit hole leads. Alright, mystery lovers, let's hit the brakes and ask the million-dollar question. Did all this really happen? Or is it just a wild tale from Ingo Swann's imagination? We've got a lot to unpack here. So let's break it down piece by tantalizing piece. First up, that Jupiter ring Swann saw with his psychic powers, pretty mind-blowing. Right? He described it back in 1973. Years before anyone had a clue it existed. Then, bam, 1979 rolls around. And NASA's Voyager 1 snaps pics of a faint, dusty ring hugging Jupiter. Checkmate. Skeptics. That's not just a lucky guess. It's hardcore evidence that Swann's remote viewing wasn't just smoke and mirrors. It's the kind of cosmic slam dunk that makes you wonder what else he got right. And when we flip through the Stargate Project's remote viewing reports, yep. The CIA's top secret psychic files. They're eerily in sync with his moon visions, strange structures, glowing lights, signs of activity. Could this be proof of alien bases lurking up there? But here's where the plot thickens and gets a little murky. Swann's lunar revelations sound incredible, but there's a snag. NASA's not exactly handing out crystal clear selfies of the moon's dark side. The photos we do have? They're fuzzy, grainy, and open to debate, perfect fodder for conspiracy buffs. But tough to pin down as solid proof. Are those blurry blobs alien towers? Or just weird rocks playing tricks on our eyes? Then there's the astronaut angle. Some Apollo crew members reported picking up odd signals from the moon, like faint whispers in the static. NASA brushed it off as interference. But come on, doesn't that feel a little too convenient? It's the kind of nothing to see here vibe that fuels moon mysteries and keeps UFO hunters digging for answers. If Swann saw what he says he saw, lunar bases buzzing with extraterrestrial life, why is it so hard to get a straight story from the folks with the telescopes? Now, let's zoom back to Earth for a sec. Those weirder than weird encounters with the mystery woman and that Alaskan UFO. What's the deal there? One theory floating around is that the CIA was testing Swann, tossing curveballs like a gorgeous, alien, lady or a water-sucking spacecraft to see how he'd react. Maybe it was all part of the Stargate playbook, push the psychic, gauge his limits. But hold up. Others whisper a juicier twist. What if that supermarket stunner was a Soviet spy? A psychic femme fatale caught up in the Cold War's mind race madness? The 1970s were peak espionage season, after all, and both sides were obsessed with out-psyching each other. The UFO could have been a secret military rig or, dare we say it, legit extraterrestrial tech. Swann's stories are a puzzle with pieces that don't quite fit, yet they're too freaky to dismiss outright. Here's the thing about Ingo Swann. He wasn't some fame-chasing hoaxer spinning yarns for kicks. This guy was cautious, almost picky, about his remote viewing gigs. He'd only take on targets he could verify, like Jupiter, because he cared about being legit. And the CIA? They didn't just shrug and move on, they trusted him. Big time. Hundreds of declassified Stargate documents back him up, painting him as their go-to psychic ace. So when he says he saw alien bases on the moon or UFOs raiding Earth, it's not easy to wave off as nonsense. Was he peering into cosmic truths NASA won't touch? Or caught in a web of spy games and misfires? That's the riddle we're wrestling with, and it's a doozy. Stick around, because we're about to sift through the clues and see where this extraterrestrial rabbit hole leads. Alright, cosmic explorers, we've just taken a wild ride through Ingo Swann's world, psychic visions, alien bases, and secrets that stretch from the moon to the edge of imagination. So, here's the big question burning a hole in my brain, and probably yours too. Did Swann really uncover extraterrestrial hideouts up there on the lunar surface? Did his remote viewing peel back the curtain on alien life chilling in plain sight, or at least, plain sight for a psychic genius? Or are we just chasing shadows? Caught up in a mind-bending tale spun from a brilliant imagination? I'm dying to hear what you think. Because this is one of those mysteries that doesn't come with a neat little bow. Was Swann a trailblazer who saw what NASA won't admit? Or was he dreaming in Technicolor? Drop your hot takes in the comments below, I'm all ears. And I bet our fellow truth seekers are too. Tell me, are you team alien bases or team wild fantasy? Let's get this debate rolling. Before you jet off, let's make sure we keep this cosmic party going. If you've had a blast diving into Swann's moon mysteries, or if you're just itching to unravel more UFO secrets with me, do me a solid and smash that like button. It's a tiny click that means the world to this channel. And hey, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're the first to catch every new drop of extraterrestrial intrigue. We've got a treasure trove of unexplained phenomena coming your way. Think more CIA conspiracies, lunar oddities, and maybe even a few close encounters of the weird kind. You won't want to miss a single second of it. Oh, and if you've got buddies who geek out over aliens, psychics, or anything that makes you go, share this video with them. Spread the word, and let's build a crew of curious minds ready to crack these cosmic codes together. Swann's story isn't just a one-off. It's a spark that lights up all sorts of questions about what's really out there. Did he stumble onto alien bases on the moon? Or was he tapping into something else entirely? Maybe it's a mix of both, truth wrapped in a riddle, just waiting for us to figure it out. That's the beauty of mysteries like this, they stick with you, nagging at your curiosity long after the screen goes dark. So, whether you're a die-hard believer in extraterrestrial life or a skeptic who loves a good twist, I'm thrilled you hung out with me today. This journey's been a blast. And it's all thanks to you, our awesome community of wonder chasers. Let's keep the vibe alive, comment your thoughts, like the video, subscribe for more, and share it far and wide. Who knows, maybe the next big clue about alien bases or psychic breakthroughs is just one video away. Catch you in the next adventure. Until then, keep your eyes on the skies and your mind wide open.